All right, guys, here's your notes on multi-step percent problems. Main idea is that in the real world, you almost never have just 1% that you're working with. There's always multiple percents that you're working with. So for example, this is a receipt from a restaurant. And let's say that tax is something easy to work with, like 5%. I get a number that isn't normally used as money because it has the extra 6 on it. So these 6 is going to round the 4 up to a 5. So there is 95% tax, which gives me a balance of $19.87. Then you're going to add a suggested gratuity, 18, 20, or 25%. I'm going to go for the max. If I'm adding gratuity, that's 25% of my new amount, which is $19.87, which gives me $4.97 in tip. When I add that to my balance, I end up with a total of $24.84. Now this is a lot of work in order to calculate tax and tip and things like that. And they break it down for you on a receipt individually. The faster way is to multiply the percents like we did before. We take 1892, we're adding a 5% tax, so that's 105% of the original. Then we're adding a 25% gratuity. So I've filled in for my amount that I paid for the bill, 100%, and the 5% tax. And then I've also accounted for the new price, a new 100%, and then 25% for the gratuity. And I still end up with $24.84 for my total. This shortened method is what we're going to be practicing in this video. Here's the first example for you to copy into your notebook. We have an original price of $35. We're discounting 20%, which means we're going to pay 80%. And then there's a tax of 5.5%, which means we're going to be paying 105.5%. When I write this out as an equation, I have $35. Then I'm finding 80% of that. Then I'm finding 105.5% of that new amount. And I get a total of $29.54. Example 2 to copy into your notebook. The original price of $35, we're marking up 150%, which means we're going to pay 250% of the original, because remember you have to add in 100% of the original. Then we are paying 6.5% tax, so we are paying 106.5% of the new price. I write it out as an equation, $35 times the price with the markup percent, and then times tax as a percent. I get a really long number, 93.1875. But remember, we only deal in dollars and cents. We just use this back number to see if we round up or leave it the same. I get $93.19 as my final answer. Last, my favorite kind of problem, where you have markup, discount, and tax, because this is the one that's more like the problems that you're going to see in the real world. If something's being marked up 150%, that means I'm actually paying 250% of the original. If there's a discount of 40%, I'm going to be paying 60% of what's left over. And if there's a tax of 6.75%, that means I'm going to be paying 106.75% of that new amount. Now I'm going to write in green how I got each of these numbers. So if you need to write that down, you can, but you don't have to. So I have price plus markup, price minus discount, and price plus tax. That's how I'm getting all of these percentages. My original amount is 70. I am finding 250% of that. Then I'm finding 60% for the price after the discount. And finally, I'm finding 106.75% of that for my final price. I get 112.0875. And when I make that into just dollars and cents, I end up with $112.09. Here's the problems for you to try. You pause the video, try them on your own, and then play and check your answers. This one, I have $70. This is my price after my discount. It's going to be 60% of that. And then my price after tax, 106.75%. And I get a final price of $44.84. My second one, I have an original price of $85.50. After a 150% markup, I'm paying 250%. And then I am discounting 40%, so I'm only paying 60% of what's remaining. And I get $128.25.